So as people tell me, I'm a nobody. I haven't won the game, therefore, and I haven't got all the money, and I haven't got powerful positions, and so on and so forth. I'm a nobody. So let's just assume that that I have a brain of my own, and don't necessarily have to be somebody. Kind of like the rest of us, all of us. So the end result of that is we need to understand what it is that our experts, our powerful people, our people in charge of our nation and our world are doing. And of course, one of the things that they're doing is gross domestic product, and we want to look at that as it is. So this is the Federal Reserve, and it doesn't appear very clear, but this is from the Federal Reserve Bank, St. Louis, or Fred, and they say that that as of the fourth quarter of 2024, our nation, the United States, created 29,700,000,000.58 million economic value. In other words, all of us together created $29.7 trillion of economic change for the year. Over here you can see that this is fourth quarter of 2024 and 29,700 and so on. That's their claim. That's what they say that we have been doing. And if you look along here, this is of course the graph that they claim that on. And of course they have to create that, or they can't borrow money against that. The whole purpose of all these numbers is to create a claim for credit that would not otherwise exist if we were actual people. So the end result of that is, again, according to this debt clock, which is according to Internal Revenue Service and according to citizens who file IRS returns, we have a 112,461,575 supposed income creators, U.S. taxpayers, 112 million. So we want to stop there. It also says there are 161,000 people in the workforce. Apparently that's immigrants that aren't paying, but let's go back to their figure of 112 million. So if we have 112 million, we divide 29.7 trillion dollars by 112,461,564. That means that we have each and every taxpayer must create $264,090 in order to achieve that GDP. That's what it must create. That's the math, and while my math is less than perfect, because I have discarded it over the years, I needed room for just life. And so I don't care a lot about math, and I'm not interested about math. But one of the things that is constant, at least in my life, is that people, when you challenge them for what they believe, they don't like that. So in other words, you say life is the evidence of a miracle of creation, a miracle of thought, a miracle of what we cannot do ourselves. It is the evidence of what we cannot do. Therefore, and nothing else on earth can do it either, and certainly chaos doesn't build anything out of discipline and order and truth and law and thought and all those things. It has nothing to do with chaos whatsoever. Chaos is basically fire. What does the sun create other than heat? So the end result is, of course, they always rely upon things like, well, you haven't proven, how this hair came to be. You haven't proven the little details, because they want the little details so that they can say, well, you didn't do that. But of course, life itself is a package deal. and as a package deal, we can be completely destroyed by what universities do, and are being completely destroyed by what our universities do, because their fantasies and delusions do not account for anything other than, they cannot tell you what how a hair is built. And I remind people of that, and they say, well, that doesn't matter, they're God, they don't have to explain anything. They have evolution on their side, but of course they can't explain evolution either. But that doesn't seem to matter, because, you believe what you believe, and of course the cult is a believer. That's what creates the cult. I believe, I believe, I believe, and of course if you believe in the leader and you can't question the leader and you don't have any evidence whatsoever, you just have to believe in faith, or their claim of faith, or actually their claim of belief, and fear the consequence of not believing them, because they're going to throw you out. So you have to obey, 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 obey. As with COVID, for a year they were telling you, believe, fear, obey. COVID is here, COVID is here, COVID is here. But of course they didn't provide any evidence of that. They just said, COVID is here. And took over our nation, and took over a major part of the world, and created all kinds of problems for all kinds of people, who ended up with the challenge of just survival and isolation and so on. That's what believing in university medicine is. And of course, university medicine is not perfect. Oh no! But university medicine is not perfect. They make mistakes. They cut off people's limbs just to avoid the crisis of a lawsuit or anything else. They are important. They are concerned about their own welfare. They're concerned about the money they make. They want you to come and visit them once a month or whatever it is, because it's an income for them. There hasn't been the last time I looked, there wasn't a single doctor more graduated from medical college than in 1961. None. This is 2024, and I haven't looked for 20 years, but the idea is that they can control the competition by controlling the number of people who are available to see you. There is, they control the pharmaceuticals, and their claim is that take them, take them, take them, take them, take them, take them. Go ahead and castrate your body, fill it with all kinds of tragedy and failure and disgrace, because that's what they want you to do. Because if you can get on a medical program where you have to have these medicines, then of course you have to have these medicines, and you have to explain that, the government has to pay you because you can't afford it, because they want too much. But the end result, of course, is that a lot of the medicine is worthless, and a lot of that medicine will do you far more harm than good. But you are believers. And a believer believes no matter what. It doesn't matter what it is. Eat that shit. There's any number of people that will just go ahead and do that. Even if you don't think so, it's true. They just package it a little bit different, but that's all it is. So the end result is not to believe in me. That has absolutely no value whatsoever. But not to believe in university either, because that doesn't have any actual value either. We have to believe in the evidence. The evidence of what is or is not true. But we cannot believe in the evidence created by universities. As with COVID, they can create anything, anywhere, anytime that they want to, but the end result of COVID in particular is how many extra people died. Because that's one of those things it's a little harder to hide if anybody's actually looking. And you do have to look, because they can claim anything they want to. But if you run through the crisis of tragedy that they are, and start looking for the elements of what it is, they combine COVID with everything. You couldn't walk out of the street and not be claimed with COVID. I mean, it's really a farce of monumental construction, because they wanted the money. They wanted the money. Trillions. And of course, not only did they get the money, they got the reversal of all laws, so that they could do anything with nature that they wanted, anything with genetics that they wanted to do. It doesn't matter And of course what they want to do is make it die. They want to create a situation where chaos overcomes nature, the genetics of nature, and causes it to fail, so that they can say, this is what caused it, this is, now we know how to build a leg because this is the genetics that build the leg. But of course they can't understand that because that's not how it works. All the parts and pieces of a human body are put together in as an orchestra might create it. It takes all kinds of things working together in order to build a human body or any body of life. They all have to work together. There's a billion, the timing is by the billionth of a second. This has to go here, this has to go there. You have 600 and some odd muscles in your body that all have to be wound and created and strung and attached and controlled and touch and everything else to create your human body. And of course, you know, the universities don't care about any of that. They just want to play God. They want to play God. They think they're, you know, they think they're God. They think they're going to be God, but they're just Satan. And that's not a religious term. That's the people who are so damn arrogant and so apathetic to life itself and so disrespectful of everything that is valuable that they want to destroy it. They want to say they are God, just like the people who are trying to ignite fusion or fusion, damn lie. There is no such thing as fusion, as was proven in 2012 at the Lawrence Livermore Laboratories in San Francisco. There is no such thing as combining two hydrogen atoms to create a helium atom, or the sun would be producing all kinds of helium, and it produces all but nothing of helium. It's a rare earth element for a reason. It doesn't happen. But of course, if their fantasy and their delusion about the sun was true, the entire universe would be full of helium, and it is not. So we have to understand what it is you believe and separate what you believe from facts. You know, you have to throw the religion of university as God out of government, out of this United States, out of your educational process that has to be removed in order to find truth. You can't find truth by wanting whatever it is you want. You can't find truth by believing whatever you want. You can't find truth by thinking whatever you want. It has to be based upon the evidence that is real and provable. And of course, science says, oh, that's what we do. But of course, that's not what they do. They experiment and they draw conclusions, just like they draw the conclusions of the sun has a hot core. Well, the sun does not have a hot core. The sun is not, the hottest part is not in the core, because if it was, it would be expanded by thermodynamics to a point where it has no core at all. It would be exploding. But of course, you know, delusion you can believe any damn thing you want to. You can believe anything you want to. And if you believe that the leader or his tiny little group is in control of everything that you believe, then you can believe whatever he says or she says. It doesn't matter. You can believe anything you want. It's your right to believe anything you want. However, that doesn't make it true. And you know, the belief of universities, the cult of their worshippers believe anything. They believe anything. You believe anything. After all, you accepted COVID and you let them run you down. They let you let them steal your face. The mask you wear was not small enough to keep out COVID. Their claim of COVID, their claim of we can tell was a coronavirus based thing. And the common code is a coronavirus. So in other words, they found a coronavirus, well, it was the damn code. But of course, that's not what they reported. Everything was called COVID. And they stole from you, you know, a lifetime of work and a lifetime of future and a nation and everything. They are creating a world that cannot survive, because nothing that is done by university example, is able to survive. It's not sustainable. There is nothing about it that's sustainable. It's not going to, and they know that it's not sustainable. So they have created biological weapons inside the university, claiming every single horrifying disease and every horrifying poison that could possibly exist, so that they can find something that can kill you if they just can find their own vaccine to take so that they don't die. That's what the purpose of biological weapons are. We want to kill them, but we don't want to kill ourselves. And of course, the reason they haven't been used so far is because we haven't figured out how to not kill ourselves too. And of course, when you have millions of universities with biological weapons in their laboratories, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to release one, or two, or three. You have to remove it from